Hi, hello. Yeah, the whole trouble is about that we don't understand why we actually here on Earth. I mean, we are here with a very, very special purpose. Everybody of us, everybody of us. You see, yesterday I heard that yesterday tell somebody or someone, it was in radio or something, that he wished that now, since Charles the Third is on reign, that he wished he'd take more, not only courage, it was something different. He will now use his little power, which actually we have no power at all, to talk to the ladies or gentlemen from the member of the parliament. That he wants that he take the prime minister in a private audience and talk to him and bring him something near what he shall do. You see, that is exactly that. What a king or queen not have to do. Not at all. A queen or a king shall not do to argue. Not at all. But she has to be a special light, which bring everything in order again and bring everything in balance again. Through her. Well, and now we have all those kind of power. We can put everything in order again. We can bring everything in power, in balance again. That is the power what everyone has. As long he is a thinking creature, which you are, you can think, definitely. You're not really awake. You start to think already. And when you go to bed and start to sleep, then the last thing what you do is you think. When you're thinking, you are able to bring everything in balance again, whatever happened to you. But that is perfectly doesn't depend on what somebody else. But your higher your own vibration is, your brighter your own light is in your own head, I mean, the more you come to that point that everything is very charming and very somehow very lovely and somehow very friendly towards you. Smile, and the whole world smile, and start to cry, and everybody cry. That is your point of view. Your point of view is always how you look at something. And that is a brilliant secret on the whole life. You see, it is not necessary to argue. It is not necessary to fight. That is exactly that. What brings everything in a perfect disharmony and a perfect chaos. And it doesn't make sense, and not in any way, to say, yes, but I discover this and this and this, and here the tests in our labors shows here that the results are right and you are wrong. That's perfectly shameful, honestly, stupid. Yesterday I heard from a death of a young woman somehow in Syria. She was, I think, tortured to death because she had no nice housecarls, so then that way. And the prime minister there said, yes, that is a task of the police to remind the woman that they have to dress in headscarves and something like that. What is called burqa, I think. I tell you what, I can't stand such a thing. I can't stand it at all. But I hope that I will never come in contact with that. That's all. They can do what they want. And everyone who suffered from any regime, from a violent father, violent mother, or whatever, violent family, or think he is a victim from something, should be able to remember that his task is to bring everything in balance again, and in that way that he have no fears again in his own head. Go away. You may exist, doubtless, you exist, but not in my presence. That is the point. The world is free for all. Everybody is here just to take their own energy stream, the energy you are in an energy flow, I hope you know that. And you have to bring it in order again, to clean that. I don't know if I, as I once mentioned it, and if not, I repeat it again. You see, you live in an energy stream. We all do. In some way, we all live in a yellow submarine. But that is not necessary to tell LSD or to get some crazy ideas. It's the point that you understand that your own life is nothing more and nothing less as a kind of energy stream, which work somehow in slow motion. That's because we have to do it here in a material matter, that we have to deal with material. Material is nothing else but a very thick, very slow, fast-going energy stream. And never you can deny that. Because you know that when you leave a thing alone, long time alone, after, let's say, 300 years, it looks completely different. You have to clean it up. You have to bring it, maybe put it on another place or something like that, and you always have to clean it so that it can remain as it be. If you leave it, it looks 100 years later a bit different. Of course, everything is unchanging all the time. Actually, yesterday we buried the past. Do you remember yesterday was the funeral of the late Majesty Elizabeth II? And by the way, she was reassuring. At least I feel always glad. I was always glad when I see the Queen, without any discussions and without to have a special interest in her life, and I don't care what her children do, and I will never care again because now it's over. That's because I say we buried yesterday the past. That's because so many people are frightened. Of course they are frightened. They have a good reason for. As long as a man or a woman don't know that she is here on life to bring everything in balance again, what was out of the balance and out of order, on her own accord, by the way, she will always be frightened in life. You have, of course, sometimes rests. You have, of course you have. Sometimes life is peaceful and life is fun, actually, very much, of course. And you can have you can take the life as a kind of Luna Park, with everything, with roller coaster and the big wheel, fortune wheel, or what you call it. But the point is that how you look at it. I can take any occasion in my life as something that I can bring in a higher spirit again. That depends on my own spirit. As long I know that, I will take the life always like that, as an occasion to bring everything in a higher spirit, to bring everything in a higher vibration through me. And that's because I tell you that you in your own life are always the queen or the king, because it is up to you to bring everything in order. That doesn't work when you always are fighting against someone. And the guys who order to that people start to fight, like now in Ukraine or Russia or whatever, in any other place where as well, have a good deal to repair afterwards in their own lives. I mean, it is not my fault who comes in contact with me. And excuse me, please, here I'm not to blame. When somebody comes in contact with me, then probably he is in a special how do I say that, vibe, or you have a special energy color, or you have a special, somehow there is a resonance. And that's because I come in contact with some other people, and other people come in contact with me. Here, the how you call that? The vibes are fitting. The same waves, for especially what we use when we have a television on or a radio on. It works, of course, by some radio waves, we call it in Germany. I don't know how to call it in English. I forget all about it. But I think you know where I'm driving at. Huh? You can only hear, let's say, a radio, because you have to put the radio on, and the tune is the same like the broadcaster. Otherwise, you can't hear. Understandable? And that you hear radio depends if you have a kind of energy stream again as well. You need energy to switch it on. You need energy to switch the light on, or something like that. And now it's a question, how do you use it? It is a bit tricky. 20 years ago, by the way, I was living somewhere else, and I have to talk always English, and then my English was, of course, more fluent like now, and the grammar was much better than today. But maybe you understand you understand me anyway. It would be good, because it is for your life very, very, very important. Remember that it's of no interest that somebody else do. Never. It's never ever interesting. It's never ever your concern when somebody else is doing. The only question in your own life is, what will you think about it, and what will you do about it? In your own reaction, that's the point. Never change another one. What will you do? Go away or come closer? Excuse me, please, but that is exactly what in heaven we see. We have a lot of astrophysics in the meantime. We brought up a lot of astrophysics. And the pictures are really smashing, are they not? When you see in the sky, and when what they can, they take photographs from somebody, what was it, Voyager, and what was the other? I don't know. Forget about it again. Hubble. The pictures were, I think they're unbelievable, smashing. But what I see is actually only light. Light in different colors, and always on the move. On the move to some, then attracted by something, or they are pushed away. No, not there. Please not. What away? And that happens in an unbelievable speed. For us, it's unbelievable. But now you start to think, what about your thinking? Your thoughts? On a high speed, are they not? The more you think something special, you gain something on that kind. I mean, I can think about someone, but doesn't mean that this someone is happy with that. And then it is possible that this special person will go away. Sometimes forever. Forever is that what we think is forever, but that's another point. But you come in contact with somebody who is very much alike, fitting to your own thoughts. That will happen in your life. And that is never ever different. Never. It's always like that. The question is if you understand this. I mean, I give here my supreme effort to make people that understand. And it is always like that. And what you try to explain and what you want to make people understand, you have to learn for yourself as well. And that is exactly what I'm doing. I learned that. But the first and important lesson and the first and important message was, bring everything in order. And you have a very high vibration. You come from the origin. It is yours. You have absolutely the possibility, you own the possibility to bring everything in balance again in your own life. The more people are not able, and the more people are not knowing that they have this power, the more the whole country is in disbalance. And I think we have a lot of people who are in countries and who are in foreign affairs or whatever, which they have actually nothing to do, who can see that. I mean, it's a question what will happen next. We can have, it's more than likely, that in 1 or 2 years we have here the biggest revolutions with a very, very nasty end. First, life never ends, and so everything goes up and goes down again, and then goes down and then goes up again. This is the game of life. That depends how people generally thinking. And I mean everybody. What happened in your surroundings, what happened in your town, what happened in your country, is actually of no interest for you. The question is, how is your own thinking? Then you can bring everything into light again. You see, in light, everything nice things happened. Everything what's nice, what was enlightened your life, what enlightening your thoughts, what makes the life shining again, can happen in light. And everything what is for people very, very bitter, painful, but gives you sorrow, what make you somehow the life very uncomfortable, more than uncomfortable. I think prisoners in any way knows from what I'm talking about. That only can happen in your own darkness. It is always dangerous for someone who tells people what they have to do. It's always tricky. And here I'm a bit, I feel a bit uncomfortable, because I actually tell you, remember that you are light and you can bring everything in balance in your own light, in your own life. You can bring it back in your own light. I wish myself and my light and my bright, white, wonderful light again. And so I will be. Because sooner or later I die. Sooner or later, yes. And honestly, nicht? Also, oh yeah, it would be nice, maybe next week we can talk about maybe. But in the meantime, I have to bring everything in order in my own life. That is to say, my own energy stream. And it is my own energy stream what counts in my life, from my point of view. Yeah, it is very, very, it's very, very important that I always remember who I am. And at first, I am light. The second, what comes immediately afterwards, is that I remember everybody is. But we hide it. We forget all about it. That is the interesting life. Because when people forget it a bit too much, when people forget it a bit too much that they are light, then we have the biggest disasters. Then concentration camps are not far. prisons, tortures, something like that. You may believe, maybe you say, no, impossible, that is not possible. I wait that God comes. I tell you what, God will never come. Like waiting for Godot. Do you remember the act Waiting for Godot? Samuel Beckett it was. That's because the act was so unbelievable successful. I mean, a lot of people knows. Maybe they're not so very fond in theater and something, but when I say Waiting for Godot, yeah, that nearly everybody knows. And it is because it's so well known and so unbelievable successful, because Waiting for Godot is our life. And they wait for Godot without recognizing that Godot is always there, it's already there. It is like us waiting for God. We wait for God, but we don't realize that the waiting for God, God never comes. And He's always there because He's already there. It's not necessary that He come. He is or she is already there because the light is already there. If you want to know what is God, light. But it can be very dark when you darken it. It has to be your thoughts to lift you up again. High energy lift you up. But high energy, if your energy is high or low, that depends from your thoughts. And of course what you feel. And actually what you say when you feel something, what you say then? Emotions. And what is emotion then? Energy in motion. After all, it's your energy what bring you in motion and what brings you in somehow in movement. Well, it's up to you. And when you discover that your life is pretty hard, never rely on other people, but be confident in your own light. It is not necessary to believe in God. God is light anyway. And light is light. And a strong light is strong light. And light can be very, very, very bright. And then it turns in fire. And fire burn everything. That's because, and you have to do. That is exactly that. What you have to do. You burn everything in your own head. That is to say, when something is very uncomfortable, at first increase your own light and becomes fire, and then everything is dead. In your own light, in your own life, in your own head. Nothing more and nothing less. It is not necessary to fight against somebody else. In that way, when you fight against somebody, you make sure that he will remain. He and his ideas, which makes your life sometimes uncomfortable. We know that. We experience that. 100 times again. We have to remember what we are. 24 years ago, no, longer, nearly 30 years ago, Pink Floyd comes up with a single, The Ring of the Division Bell had begun. Do you remember that? Maybe you like Pink Floyd. I like Pink Floyd very, very much. But this was for me smashing, and somehow I realized that was exactly what happened. That was 1992. Suddenly, I have in my head, the ring of the division bell had begun, and I knew something new was coming, and so it was. Because I start to realize that it's up to me, that I have not only to get another view, another point of view. But I also have to bring everything in balance again, and it takes me 30 years, 30 hard years, very hard years, to bring in my life my own energy flow in order again, that he can flow without any blockades or without any hurdles. I don't need them so much. Not anymore. Earlier it was funny, but now, it was too exhausting. It is always difficult to tell somebody else what you have to do. That is really tricky, because a lot of people do, and a lot of people hurry up to tell them their own ways and tell them their own opinion, and hoping he will get this opinion as well. That is politic, and politic never bring you anywhere. This politics is always a steadily argument. It's always a discussion again, or it ends up in fights. That's in wars and something like that. Highly uncomfortable. And that's because I tell you, you have to bring everything in order again by your own thoughts. Your own thoughts will kill nobody. Nobody at all. But when your thoughts drive you to a point that you take a gun and shot somebody, then your thoughts bring you in a different direction, far away from balance and harmony. And balance and harmony, everybody is looking for. Everybody. And here comes the next. What bring me? Well, I don't think that bring me a lot of fans on my channel. But honestly, the world is actually ruled by men. That is completely true. The man shall rule the world, yes. The man, not the woman. But the woman rule the man. And I have to explain that. Then please don't start to mourn. You see, women they're very, very, not only sensible, but sensitive. Women normally have a better reunion with their own Holy Spirit, and are perfectly able, from the word true, to bring everything in order again. Not by loving care and yes, you're fine. And they can smooth down and calm down their own energy stream again, and of course that's what is around them. That's because women get pregnant, and that's because women give birth to children. They are able to do that. But then, and men, of course, experience that somehow as well. And now they are a bit more, let's say, refreshed, and are maybe not so cruel in their own way of thinking. That would be that would be demanded. And that is demanded, and then their reactions, and then their actings are not so frightful, horrible as they are nowadays. But we have forgotten that is the point. That women are able to be more in state to receive higher vibrations and higher ideas, their thoughts are brighter and something like that. Doesn't mean that they are practically stupid. When a human being is able to give birth to another life, she is gifted, and not crazy, not mad, and not stupid. People underestimate that. They underestimate their own power. And by the way, it is of no interest if you are a man or woman. At first, the task is the same. Bring in your own energy stream in bright white light again. And the more you are surrounded with powers, with people who knows that it's their own task, whatever they do, whatever they say, to bring their own light stream high and bright again, the less we will have fightings and wars. But people forget. That is all. We have forgotten that. Sorry. Let's get this. Just a moment. Okay. We forget. That's all. We have forgotten this simple rule. So that is actually very fair, because everybody is the king or the queen of their own life stream, for their own energy stream. It is up for you, and you only, to bring your own life in order again. And for this task, you can't run away. Impossible. That's the point, that's the question of shall I stay or shall I go? Actually, we want to go. Actually, we don't want. We have an attraction to that. And we have an attraction, a horrible high attraction for all the ghastly mess here. Because it is our mess, because we brought it in disorder. You see, that is what we never, we want to fight back. We say, no, that was not our, that is not ours, it's not my, it's not my fault that this here is such a ghastly mess. No, it is not your fault that it's here, that everything is higgledy-piggledy here. Not at all. But the more you have to do with that, the more it is your concern to bring it in your own life in order again. That is because some people, and actually a lot of people, especially the churches, whatever what you say, the skies they come, have a good deal of problems. The Pope, for example, or the imams, or whatever, I hope they know what they have to do, because they have to keep order in their own energy stream. And the more they start to tell other people what they have to do, for example, women, to remind that they have to have a headscarf, which is actually of no importance if they have a headscarf or not. But when they start to do it frantically and in a fanatic way, and even bring them to death because a woman saying, "Oh, why should I wear a headscarf?" And there's a river to kill her. I hope that he knows what he has to do afterwards. At the other hand, I hope as well that it's for the woman to remember what brings them in a prison like that. There's something else in prison. The question is, what is a prison? A prison, okay, we know what a prison is. We send people to prisons. Okay, but when they have a misbehavior, with which we don't agree, with good reasons. But the point is that we have to understand that at very first, every prison is an idea in your own head. When you have a parcel of thoughts which bring you in highly uncomfortable situations, then you have to understand that it is your no direction of your own thoughts that brings you in such a chaos of feelings. Energy is brought up by thoughts. That is to say, feelings are causes by your own thoughts. You can try it out immediately. Switch here the thing here off and go to bed or sit down very quietly and now start to think what you like and concentrate on something what you like. Let's say ice cream or love or high bright red light or what is my favorite thing actually, and a lot of money or whatever, and you feel better. Your energy stream immediately is better when you think on that what you like. Or think on war, terror, death or something like that. You feel immediately not so good. And when you know, discover that you actually are very happy when someone is in torture, when you give someone a horrible, uncomfortable situation, and we have here a lot of people on the move which are exactly like that, with good explanation, with good explanations and something like that. But when you discover that you bring a lot of people suffering, our social services act like that. You remember, I don't know, when the people start to argue what about this custodies or something like that, when children are in the game, then they start to fight for the custody or something like that. Remember, that is impossible. And people who bring that up, like our social workers in the main, silently dangerous, because they are not the kind of person who bring everything in order and smooth other people down, what actually they have to do when they want to be social workers. But they forgot about that. They like to solve everybody's people's problems without to have any to do with it, anything to do with it. It's impossible. I can't mix it up. I can't mix it in other people's tasks and other people's life. And then be a part of it. And that is for our social workers huge, or something like that, a horrible discovery. The more I mix in other people's life, in any way, the more I become a part of it. And I have to sort it out. Not in the other people's life, that is, in other people's life I have never to do something, but in my life, in my energy stream. Whatever I'm doing, my energy stream is mixed up with it. And come in contact with it. Oh, for some people it's pretty difficult. And I know from people that bring a lot of people grief. But that is not the point if they bring them grief or sorrows. That is the question when somebody is empathic for that and somebody is able to receive that. But that he wanted to do it, that he was keen to do it, in a dizzy idea, the confused idea that it is better for the whole world when I give or I do something for the whole world. That is always a very tricky part and is always very difficult and is always end up mostly in catastrophes and chaos. Because when I tell you this and this and this point of view is right and you have to do that, it drives people then in a special direction. But when I tell you, you are light, your own thoughts shall be attracted by your own light that brings everything in order again. When you are a believer or when you are a scientist, it doesn't matter at all. Both of them believe something and think that is that they found evidence for it. That is the same. When people think they are light and when their own thoughts are circles rotating in about their own light, in a keen to bring you the own light bright again, to make the own light bright again. Yeah, but where shall be the chaos then? It's impossible. whatever you else do. But funny enough, the brighter your mind, the lesser you are interested in to bring other people's sorrows or something. Or you never stick to your point of view when you are in discussions with other people. And by the way, light is the only thing I can't discuss. I'm sorry. My point of view, bring everything in light again. And then you have peace, you wish. You have happiness, you wish. You have life in full. With all that what you want. That is a point of view I can't discuss. I mean, a lot of people, when you have new ideas, maybe we shall better do that, or maybe we shall better do that. They love it to discuss it. I have no intention at all to discuss that. Because it is your opinion and it is your decision if you do that or not. You can do that. You can. But you can also say no. It's your decision. In our chaos, in our half, or better to say, half dark light, in our half dark ways we live in, are some funny situations possible. And we often poke fun about them. And we often start to laugh. Because then the conclusions are so absurd. I think you know from what I'm talking about. I mean, remember John Cleese from the Pythons. I mean, he was a master in that. When he was perfectly able to make a thing so not only funny, but not only bring a joke in, but he bring the conclusions from that, from what he's starting, in the most absurd and funny way. I have to get up. I'm sorry. Yeah, you are there. I'm sorry. I have to move on. But I think you know what I'm driving at, huh? I mean, you can change your point of view. You can't change the world, but you can change your point of view. It always depends how you look at it. And if you, when you think about it a bit more, but in a quiet way, then you will discover that your thoughts direct you through your life. And the thoughts you have to direct. That is, in the very beginning, not so easy, because thoughts come and you think them. Yeah, but you can also fight back. Say, no, this kind of thought, I don't want to think. I don't want to think over that. I don't let it in my ear. I don't want to think over it, in order that I put it away by that. It is at the very first beginning to do that horrible. It's very difficult, and it is oft encouraging. It's not so easy, and the people are not very helpful at first, not at all. But you can try it out. And remember, the more you do, the better it works. I hope that you can understand me, and I'm sorry, I have to move on. Okay, thanks for listening, and maybe you can answer me upon the video, and maybe you can tell me if it's for you somehow understandable. That would be very nice. Thank you. All the best. Bye.